Cool. So in today's show, we're going to talk about why your email strategy sucks. And we have a few reasons why. We're going to hammer in on one specific reason, which is the biggest one. And before I give it away, we're going to touch on a few other things as well. So, Bia, from an email marketing perspective, why do most people's email strategies completely suck, even though they say that they're doing everything right? Because we have that all the time. We talk about email, we preach it, because we have the data to prove that it's a really effective way to grow your business. This is obviously considering that you already have a list. Okay, that's a disclaimer. You and the team have done hundreds, if not maybe close to thousands of audits. What are some of the common mistakes that you see that people make, which is most likely contributing to their lack of success?
So, first of all, how we determine if, from audits, if a brand or an account is not performing too well on email, is we look at the open rates, click-through rates, and obviously the sales. So if your open rates are bad, you know that your subject lines are not the best. If your click-through rates are not great, you know that your content, the body content of your email is not the best.
If people don't open the email, they're never going to see the amazing deal that you have. They're never going to see the 2 or 3 hours your designer spent on putting some beautiful artwork together. I think most owners think it's a waste of time because they put all this effort in and then they're not seeing the sales on the back of that, or the leads for those who have local businesses. But the reality is it all starts with one thing, and that is getting people to open the actual email. What are the things that directly impact your open rate?
So the first thing you need to look at is the deliverability of your emails. And if you don't have great deliverability on the platform that you are using, the emails won't get sent to the subscribers in the inboxes. It's not going to be delivered in the inboxes. But the most important thing that you have to look at, like Jay mentioned now as well, if you have a beautiful email and the body content of the email is perfect and you have a great offer inside, if people don't open it, they're not going to see that beautiful offer.
You can basically give something away for free and you're not going to get anything
at all.
Because nobody's going to see that you're giving shit away for free.
100%. And the main thing that you have to look at then is subject lines. If your subject line is not great, you know that people won't even see that great offer inside. And that's your first step when you create campaigns or automations. You have to check that your subject line is actually enticing enough for someone to click and open it. I mean, people's inboxes are full, but how can you make sure that your email stands out? It's also where segmenting comes in, because if you have a massive list with people with all these interests, you need to send the relevant content to the relevant segments.
Yeah.
So I think that's also that's how you can get your subject or your open rates up and click-through rates.
And that's really applicable to any business if you think about it, because let's say hypothetically you've got 10,000 people in your email list and you're selling furniture and you just sold a chair to 20 people, 30 people by doing a discount on chairs next week. 20 people are going to feel like you sending them irrelevant messages because they just bought a chair from you.
Yeah. They're going to get really frustrated.
They're going to get really frustrated. So the first thing is your email actually needs to be delivered into your email client if you're using Outlook or Gmail. The email needs to be there. If it's not there, it can't be opened. So deliverability is one thing. Then, if your email is delivered, how are you really standing out? And that's where your subject line really comes in, because that's really the only thing that is standing between you and someone clicking is, what are you saying? And while we're on this topic, like, what are some tips for people out there? How can they go about improving their subject lines?
So you can look at, for example, using first names in the subject line. I mean, if I see a subject line, the email saying, Bia, are you struggling to lose weight? As an example.
Well, you'd be like, no, thank you. Irrelevant messaging.
No, but yeah. So if you add someone's name in there, they automatically, first of all, they see, okay, this person is addressing me. Someone might want to open that. There's actually a new feature, and I'm actually not sure if this is available on all the email marketing service or platforms that we use.
On
OmniSend, 100%. But you can use Gmail annotation. And how it works is, let's say you've got a sales offer. Again, sales offers actually for me is the most difficult to promote on email, because there's a lot of 50% off, 20% off. It's shouting. It's, you want to drive that urgency, but if the people's inboxes are flooded with that. So with Gmail annotation, it's only applicable for Gmail users, which there's a lot of. you can actually add that discount in the front of a subject line.
Oh.
So, and it's also in red. Remember, when you are opening your Gmail, for example, everything is like it's mainly a white background with
Yes.
the black text on it. So in this instance, with Gmail annotation, you can have that stand out. So let's say it's free shipping. I mean, we've seen that free shipping is an offer that worked really well in the past. So if you want your email to stand out for people to open that email,
That's
you
one way
need to
do
make
it.
sure that you have that Gmail annotation added. Just the words free shipping, 50% off today only. It just makes your email stand out a lot more.
In terms of subject lines, I think the first biggest mistake I see people make, and this is just my point of view, is that they write their subject line all caps thinking that it is super formal and professional. Like, we're going to send a very professional email to all our clients and customers.
Urgent.
Urgent.
Open this email now.
All caps. Newsletter 1. So, first of all,
It scares away people.
yeah, so if you're going to say newsletter, then what you're actually saying to someone on the other side is like, don't open this email because it's full of spam. So you need to create a sense of curiosity. I think that's the biggest thing. Before they actually read the actual subject line that could potentially create curiosity, we need to also understand that they will subconsciously decide whether the email is actually worth looking at or not. Our brains are wired to identify what is going to waste our time because it's trying to protect us from wasting time. Now, if we understand that, if your email is all caps, for example, it automatically almost feels like it's a message that I'm getting from a company because it's very structured, very formal. And some people might get offended that you're actually shouting at me. Like, it feels like, oh, this company is shouting at me. I don't want to. Or it's going to be like, oh, this is a spam corporate. This is a corporate letter that I don't feel like receiving right now. It's not my company that's emailing me because I would know if it is. So therefore, I'm just going to delete it. The point I'm trying to make is that if you're writing your subject lines, it's most likely worth your time and effort to figure out how do you slip under the subconscious radar and get someone to actually read what the subject line has to say. And the best advice is write a subject line like you would write an email to a friend.
Another thing I've seen is also if you have a very long subject line, people don't want to decipher. People are lazy. They don't want to read everything. They don't want to think about what they're reading. Another thing that I've also seen, like you mentioned, you mainly respond from people you know. If it's an email coming through from someone from work or a client or something, you respond or you want to open that email. What I've seen is making it more personalized, as if there's an actual business owner sitting behind that laptop sending you personally that email campaign when using the name, your name. So the business owner's name, for example, Jandre from V8 Media, as the sender's name. It looks like it really is someone, a person, not just V8 Media, for example, sitting behind the laptop sending you an email.
I hear what you're saying. The actual sender email, that actually show, for example, Jason. I mean, we did that with our own brand. But yeah, the point is, if you can personalize it and make it seem like it's actually coming from a friend, that's what we really alluding right now, how effective a personalized email can actually be.
And then if we move to the click-through rates, if we look at the body content of the email, again, you can use a similar approach where you say, hi, it's Bia here from XYZ company. I saw you reaching out, or I saw you were interested in this product, or you were interested in this collection of products that we have.
So we've spoken about the open rate, how important it is. Secondly, using the right, I'd say, ethics in order to ensure that you're not marked as spam, because this is also what happens. People unsubscribe and say this is spam. That is signals that you're sending to the server. And if your open rates are naturally low because of crappy subject lines or because of deliverability, you're giving signals to these servers that your emails are not worth opening, which means they're just going to put it in spam. Moving on to click-through rates. Like, this is the second most important part. So one, you need people to open the email. Secondly, you need people to click through so they can see what's on the other side, which is on your website, a product or a deal or a special or an offer that you have put together. What advice do you have for people to improve the actual click-through rates? What mistakes do you see people make, and how can they correct it?
In terms of click-through rates, again, like I mentioned, click-through rates are the body content of the email. So what you put in that email needs to resonate with the person receiving the email. And again, going back to, like we mentioned, you've built up this massive list of subscribers. it's so important to segment them into relevant groups or different groups according to what they were interested in. And then there's your opportunity to send them relevant content. As an example, if you send a person with oily skin showcasing a product, an email with a product showing a dry skin product that helps with combat dry skin, this person is automatically not going to click through because it's not relevant to them. They're going to think this is like, this brand is definitely not going to help me. Delete. So, and even maybe unsubscribe. Emails need to be easy to read.
Period.
Nonetheless, period. Doesn't matter in which industry you're in, it's very important to have that.
It's an umbrella statement that applies to every single business.
Yeah. So it needs to be easy to read. Again, easy to digest, easy to dissect. It shouldn't be.
And it's not because it's email. It's just because our brains are wired. This actually applies to your ads. It applies to If you're still doing flyers, it needs to be easy to read. If you're doing newspaper ads, it needs to be easy to read. Like no matter what you're doing, it applies to every single thing in marketing, in your businesses. It needs to be clear, concise, and easy to understand.
So what we've also seen is, let's say you have your objective for this specific email campaign is to maybe do a little storytelling of the brand, or show a lot more valuable insights about a specific product, or not insights, but benefits of a product. You can also break it up into different columns. So instead of having one long email, if it's like a text section, break it up into either 2 columns, bullet points, or an infographic, or add it onto a creative that's maybe like a little GIF that moves. Making it, again, like it all comes down to making it easy to read. And what's actually interesting, where you mentioned about testing for different brands or different industries, all industries are different and all brands are different.
I've seen that.
So it's going to come down 100% to testing it out and seeing, does my audience really resonate with long emails, storytelling? Do they actually take time to read these emails? Or do they resonate with maybe just images and a small button? So it's all going to come down to, again, also the objective of the campaign. And again, like you mentioned, it's also going to come down to, what is the brand about? If your brand has a lot of complicated products, you need to try and convey that messaging in the best way possible for the subscribers. So it 100% comes down to testing, A/B testing. When you start with email marketing, I would suggest that's the first thing we do. Test different content. Test long versus short form copy.
See what responds to your audience.
Test GIFs in emails. The images, to be honest, we've actually seen that some email campaigns with only or automations with just one product image and a button works amazing. It also, because it sparks the curiosity for people to click through to the website
To see what's up.
Now you get a traffic to the website where you can essentially then remarket to them on ads. So it all works together really nicely, and I think it's just important to know what works for your subscribers. What do they want to see?
Love it. So there you have it, guys. I think in conclusion, there are a few tips for you to improve your open rate, because if people don't open it, they're not going to see what's inside. There are a few suggestions on how you can improve your click-through rate, because if they don't click, you're not going to get the traffic to the site, which means you're not going to get the lead or the sale. So I want to thank you for your time.
Cool.
And I hope there was some value in it for you on the other side. If there was, feel free to like and subscribe for more content like this. And then we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers. Bye.